My name is Rachell Smith and I am a photographer. I think practice makes perfect. So, it's been 15 plus years of, really understanding managing a team and what everyone's role is, even down to, my role and how I should be and present myself as the photographer. I think that having really upfront conversations, if you can, with the team is just really valuable. What I've started to do in most recent years on all shoots is to have a 5 or 20-minute conversation with the entire team, and I just mean everybody. So before, we're all really busy setting up lights and going into glam and doing everything, that we all literally just sit down together like a creative family and just really talk about the brief, how everyone's feeling about it. People can bring their opinions and ideas. From my point of view, it's really important to have confident energy. People feel more really relaxed. They feel creatively inspired. I think if you are really open with them, have that conversation, make them feel a certain way. But for example, if something isn't going to plan and maybe there is something that's happening where you need to change the direction of someone or an idea, then it's knowing how to say that in the right way. Because it is a collaboration with everybody and you want people to feel heard and seen and part of the team, but you also need to know how to manage people in the right way. You do need to have creative control in a lot of aspects. It is a collaboration. Other people have their expertise that, I can't do the hair, the makeup and the styling and all those things. So feeling your gut and knowing if something creatively isn't quite working, because a lot of it's problem solving, isn't it? Sometimes you can be on a shoot and you keep trying at something, but it's just not quite getting there. You can't quite put your finger on it, but it's just not there. I think that it is your job as a photographer to make sure that we move on from that. And if it's not working, let's move on. Let's do something else. Another shot, another image, and kind of get there. You need to collaborate with the team in a way that everybody kind of can control their craft, but you're steering the ship. I really lean into really big personalities. So let's just say, for example, I have a talent who has lots of opinions and their energy is really, really high. I can totally understand how some people might struggle to deal and maybe direct someone that has such a huge personality. You never really know what someone's like until you meet them in person and you're there on the day with them. But I mean, one really good thing about it is that if there's somebody well known, that you will probably be already aware of what they're going to be like. But for me, because I have a lot of energy and I have a lot of confidence, and I really think confidence is the key here, is to really lean into that, because you want them to express themselves. You want them to be authentically who they are. So I don't want to direct them in a way that is going to stop them from being like that on set. So I really lean into it. But I think that having the confidence to talk about what we're doing, the concept, asking them what they want to do, what do they think is really important. So it really is navigating how you can kind of almost like balance yourself with their energy. As humans, I really feel like we do mirror each other's energy. Luckily, I have a lot of energy and lots of opinions and a big personality as well. I don't know, maybe that helps me deal with bigger personalities versus maybe a photographer that's a bit quieter and sort of shy on set. It's always kind of my mission to shoot digital, but then almost strip away the digital look of something and the way that the process is in the grading and post-production is I don't want to over manipulate it because I very much value in-camera techniques. If I can make the work look less digital and a little bit more towards like an analog look, then I really love that, and I try to do that throughout everything as well. Over the years, practicing lighting and understanding lighting and how I like to light people, I do have like I do light differently shoot to shoot, but it's kind of the same, can't explain it, but it's got the same process. It's got the same, I sort of use the same mix of lights, and I have an idea of how I'm going to do it beforehand. So it has a very similar aesthetic, if that makes sense. I think the most obvious difference is that a professional model, do it day in, day out. So it's their job to kind of, if you like, model clothes and be in front of the camera more often on a stills shoot. Whereas, doing a actor or musician is not their main job. So it's not their craft, if you like. However, everyone's just so different. I could get an actor who really loves the photo shoot experience or the cover shoot experience, and they actually have learned the ways of acting on a shoot. They're very in tune with the fashion. Maybe they're really excited by the fashion and they kind of really get into it and kind of almost not become a model, but they really lean into it. Whereas I could get another actor who maybe perhaps is a bit nervous and they really don't like the photo shoot experience, but they perhaps maybe want to, and they kind of not have to do it, but it's a part of their contract and their press run to do press on it. But the one thing that I must say is that whether it's a professional model, an actor or whoever, to be honest, always treat them the exact same. So I've worked with some amazing models who they really bring a lot to the table as well. They really bring their authentic selves into it too. They also have a craft and experience. If they're willing to push boundaries and work with me, person to person, then I find that really exciting. I think because I shoot a lot of high profile actors and musicians and talent, if someone is on a really busy like press run and maybe perhaps I've only got like an hour, I have to be really understanding and caring of that. I'm very aware that I might not be getting somebody at their best at certain times on shoots. But in general, I feel that the sort of best qualities in a subject are very much the ones that want to collaborate. I really care for like all of my subjects, understanding them in the space that they are in that moment. I find really interesting and important. So, for example, if I have somebody on set, I'm photographing somebody like, I don't know, an actor or a musician, and we're having a really good conversation up front about the mood board, the creative, like what we want to get from the shoot, and we're really mirroring each other's energy on set, and it just becomes this wonderful, collaborative, creative, in the moment experience. Then those are really the best qualities, I think, that they're working with you and not just because they have to.